hope it's a good port. That's all I'm praying for now is I hope it's a good port, man.
I hope it. Yeah, I gotta check it out too. I hope it's 60 frames. Hey, what's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K of PNTS Network and StadiaDosage, and I'm here. He's back, Daryl Smock Jr. We're back, both here with another weekly checkup. Mr. Smock, how have you been doing? What you been up to? What's been up? What's been going on?
Man, I'm doing good. Today has started off on a good note. I've been working a lot lately.
Yeah.
I've barely had any free time. It's literally work and sleep. So there's a lot going on with my company.
Yeah.
The job that I'm at, we're making a transition. The company just got bought by another company.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of crazy because the company. So to give you guys a little bit of perspective, the company that I'm at, has 60% of LAX under the company. The company that just bought 60% of the airport. Like that's huge, you know. So there's a lot of changes that's gonna be going on. And it's a lot of adjustments, you know. But just me getting used to it and everything, you know. I'm back now. I'm excited to talk to y'all, to talk to MM. You feel me? And you know, to get back into the swing of things. There's a lot that I need to catch up on. So today's the day. Today's that start.
Well, yeah. I mean, and you just discovered that Five Nights at Freddy is not only on Stadia, but it's on Stadia Pro. How you feel about that, man?
That is a huge. That's huge news because that game has a huge following, following, you know, and I got to stream that game. I'm sad that I won't be able to do it on my webcam because my laptop isn't powerful enough to do it on my webcam.
Yeah.
I gotta stream that game. You know, I gotta get it out there. You know, like, hey man, you're not the sole reason, but you're one of the the second person to reach out to me about this game. And when you told me it was coming to see, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, it's fate, man, and I gotta stream this game.
Yeah, no, this is a hell of a game, and I'm gonna play it. I won't be doing it on camera, but you'll hear the falling over in my chair and the knocking over of my mic like that. You know what I mean? So. Shout out to Geek the Sneaky says, is this live though? Yeah, this is live for members.
Yeah.
So if you're a member and you're watching this, Geek, it's live. This is always live for members. So if you're in the members section and you're watching this, then we're doing it live. The premieres that are happening on Sunday. This is when we aired for the public on Sundays. Is what is a premiere, and it's the pre-recorded version. This version that you're live for. So yes, you are a member. So if you're watching this, that's because you're a member and you're watching it live. So all right. With that said, man, I just want to get to some preliminary stuff, and then we're gonna get right to the nooks and crannies of today's show. Let me show you something. All right, this is StadiaDosage.com, the website. All right, we're Smock and others are just killing it, man. We want to thank y'all so much. I'm not going to share the numbers because I want to be braggadocious, but man, the views on that website are like crazy. I never would have imagined it. Shout out to Smock, Jack, Marks, Peddler. We got Pete on there. I mean, just shout out to the whole team. Killing it over there, man. Great stuff, great stuff. Definitely. You guys are killing it over there. But there goes Five Nights at Freddy and all other stuff. So here's what's happening. I wanted to point this to you guys real quick because I got to give Daryl the good news, and then I got to talk to Squid too, because his shows are definitely going to be the big whoop to do's for you to get to benefit from this. But this is called the Summer of Stadia Gift-a-Palooza. And the article reads as follows. We at StadiaDosage have just been blown away by the support the community has shown for our project here. As we go into the Summer of Stadia, we are incredibly grateful and want to give back. We love all the positive atmosphere around Stadia this summer. It is contagious and we're ready to celebrate. For every single live stream we do from July 5th through August 5th, we're going to raffle at least a $25 gift credit to an audience member who is subscribed to the Stadia Dosage channel. There is a live stream almost every day, and many days have multiple streams. Make sure to hang out with Squids on weekdays and to catch all MM2K's words of wisdoms throughout the month to win. You can win more than once. What we're gonna probably do too, and we're working on this. I gotta finalize this. Is like for our premieres. We'll drop something in there for our premieres. I'll just hop in the chat and we'll give something out for the premieres as well. All right. And again, in order for you to participate, you need to be subscribed to this channel. All right, to win. So go ahead and subscribe to be part of the Summer of Stadia Gift-a-Palooza. We just want to give back to the community again, because you guys have done so much as far as helping us push the content that we have and helping to connect with the community as well. You know what I mean? We said our main legs here is to first educate with facts. And then secondly, after you come through all those facts, you're like, oh, all right, cool. I'm enthusiastic about this platform. I'd like to, converse with others or game with others, or, be part of community efforts with others. This is a safe haven for you to do that. So, thank you so much in helping us with that effort. And this is our way of giving back. All right. So with that said, let me go back here. I think it's time for us to get into our show. So let me put the topics up here for today's show. The topics are Stadia in Mexico, Samsung Game Hub that hit the Samsung TVs, and Game Vybez. All right. Let's do this. Let's go read some of these chats that are here. And again, if you're seeing these chats and you're like, I don't see these in the chat that I'm watching on the live stream on Sunday, that's because we record this with our members on Fridays. So if you want to be part of the member recording, you have to hit that join button and you'll get a whole bunch of other perks. Like this Tuesday, we're giving away a Google Play and Bundle package. So you can't beat that with a stick. That's for our members. Also, the members get an extended version. Like Smock and I, the hell with Smock, the hell with this show. We probably need to go do a TV show.
TV podcast.
TV podcast. Yeah. We went over, the top, 8, 10 show, whatever that you should watch right now during the summer. Because it's summertime, everybody's chilling. And damn, we could have chopped that into a podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you get a lot of great content on the member side. Hit that membership button, join, and check out all the perks. All right.
45-minute conversation.
Yeah, man. 45 additional 45 minutes.
Easily went longer.
I think we did go longer. Yep. Because let me see. What are we at now? Yeah, we went longer. Yeah, it's about over 45 minutes of great TV conversations. That might be something we might have to pursue. I might have to check out my schedule, see what we can do. But shout out to everybody in the chat here. Let's give it up to them. We got Geek to Sneak in the house. He says, I am a member. That's right, you are a member. You are special too. Got this guy Smock Jr. in the house as well. And he says, and Dusty says, hi, I don't know why this thing notified me early. It shouldn't write when you go. It should write when you go live. Yeah, I don't know what it is with YouTube. They don't like us. I don't know what's going on.
Probably because it was unlisted, so it probably don't get the notifications right away. When it's unlisted, you have to actually go to the page and click it.
That could be part of it too. Yeah, I mean that does make sense. Also, what you're going to have to do, make sure that bell is rung. Make sure the bell, like you have that all notifications go out, because when you're a member, like for instance, I know when Clive goes live, because I'm a member of Clive. When Clive goes live, I get the notifications because I make sure that the bell for Clive, like I have it set to all notifications. Like what YouTube will do is based upon certain activity, they'll do certain things. Hold on one second.
You said I got the notification way earlier. I have. Man, bell set for all. And then I try to hit the show reminders too. Yep. We was live before this. We was live to the members only. That's probably why. And now we're just starting the actual podcast portion.
I'm sorry, Daryl. Can you do me a huge favor? I have to step away for 1 second. Can you just go over some gaming news with our fine folks?
I'll do the first topic then. Notification for this show was 4 hours ago. Oh, it was probably because he set up a like when he set up a before he goes live, he sets up a thing, like he puts it like a pre-live thing, like a pre-save thing, and then it notifies, like it gives you notification that he's about to go live. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Stadia in Mexico. So Stadia is expanding to Mexico. At StadiaDosage, we've advocated for a while now that the best thing Stadia can do, right? That the best thing that Stadia can do to grow their platform and show their commitment to it is to expand to new territories. We've shown why we believe that a significant reason for the growth of the platform in 2020 was related to territory expansion. So we are really excited to report today that Stadia is continuing to do that. At Google for Mexico live event today, Google announced that it's expanding Stadia into Mexico. We first discovered this thanks to 9 to 5 Google. Though we like to set a very different tone, we appreciate 9 to 5 for the changes they made to the article. As this is a Google Mexico specific event, no other countries were mentioned, but it's certainly possible that more countries can be part of the expansion as well. We know people in many countries are anxious to see Stadia arrive, especially India. But Mexico alone would bring Stadia to a territory within 130 million people. The increase in Stadia's reach from 861 to 991, a very significant 15% increase that is similar to their 2020 expansion. As mentioned above, territory expansion brings with the significant boost of player base. It's a group of people who will first experience Stadia as a platform, right features, 280 games, including over 50 that claim free with Stadia Pro. Yeah, man. I've seen a lot of expansion requires. Yeah, man. Stadia moving to Mexico is actually really good. it's actually pretty big, because that's how fans know, like the fans in India know that they are still thinking about them and that there are still plans to expand the platform into other countries. Man, once I believe, like once Stadia hits India, it's game over. It's game over for the other cloud platforms. I know. I don't know if any. I don't know which. I don't know if there's any other cloud platform in India right now. It's also like a big player in the U.S. I know once Stadia does it, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
game changer for real.
Yep. Sorry about that, guys. Just for full transparency, you guys know I'm still struggling to get my wife back to work, and these employers, they can be a doozy. So at the last minute, they were requesting, oh, what restrictions are she on? She's on the same restrictions she was on before. So they want us to chase paperwork around. I had to tell them, nope. You guys are going to get on your job and do it yourself. And she's coming back to work because she's getting out of my hair. So anyway, all right. But no, I great stuff, Smock. Thank you for going over that news. I heard you talking about the expansion to Mexico, why it's big. So again, just to double up on that, my first question for you directly is, how big is this for Stadia?
It's actually really big because Stadia is basically reassuring the fans in other countries that they're still thought about, that they haven't forgot about them expanding. They're not just gonna stay US only.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna expand into other countries like they promised way back.
Yep.
Like, when Stadia says, hey, you know, just check out for our sources for when we're gonna do it. We'll let you guys know. And now they're finally doing it. Like the tweet that they give out, they say, "Hey, when is this platform coming to here?" So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, is just keeping their promise. They're gonna come to countries, and them and Mexico is just the first step
Yeah.
of other things. Because like the article said, even though it's a Mexico specific event, pretty sure Mexico won't be the only country. I'm pretty sure they'll have. I think going to expand into at least two new countries. That's just my prediction.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's a smart prediction. But here's the thing. Okay, so let's just tear the scab right off. I've been waiting to talk to you about this. Because the news, when it was presented, wasn't so celebratory, right? Like, we heard the news about Xbox coming to, Samsung TVs, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. And everybody was jumping out their shoes and socks, in the cloud community. But when this news came for Stadia, it was like, oh, well, okay. I mean, I'm glad to hear it. But I don't know if should be fully celebrated. You know what I mean? So my question to you, Smock, is why is celebrating positives for Stadia bad if the certain positive doesn't fix everything? And I'm going to add to that. Let's take it's not equal across the board. Like, for instance, GFN can make game announcements, right? Oh, they're getting God of War, da-da-da-da-da. But when we get God of War, do we say, oh, well, I mean, that's cool and all, that's a good thing, but you got to remember that the UI is clunky and the 3080 tier is expensive. Like, we never hear that, right? Or even for xCloud. When xCloud makes an announcement, like how they did, they're coming to Samsung TVs, and the app, is reportedly working very well on the Samsung TVs, better than what people have previously experienced with xCloud. You don't hear people say, oh, well, I mean, yeah, that's cool and all. Yeah, that's a good thing. But they don't have a la carte purchases, complete a la carte purchases across the board yet. You know what I mean? Like, you can celebrate good stuff with other platforms without constantly being reminded about their shortcomings, except for when it's Stadia. Why is that?
just cost that people put on stage. I mean, it's just like something that people do when it's like, okay. I'm gonna
Just
say
do it, brother. Just do it. Because we had to do a soul searching. We're gonna have a conversation now. Normally, I'll scream and but I'm not. I'm done with that. Like I told people earlier in this year that a lot of this doom and gloom FUD rhetoric is going to make certain notions look foolish by the end of the year. I said that 99% of that was based off of just following the facts. 1% of that was based off of stuff that came across my airwaves. But I said, but I'm not one of those journalists that jump out of the window and be like, guess what I found out first. No. So we're just going to have a conversation with people, and we're going to try to help them understand we're clinging to certain narratives may be silly without looking at everything in totality. So let's do it. Let's rip open the scabs. Let's not spare any room. And when talking about this, let's get into it. And I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna stop interrupting you. Go ahead, brother.
It's just the costs that people are bringing to Stadia, because Stadia has the most potential to actually make waves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the people that are saying that are just following the trend of people trying to make Stadia worse than what it actually is. They're trying to make Stadia look worse than what it actually is.
Generally,
they're just following the things that happened to Stadia a lot in last year. Where there was just like almost nothing but negative articles. They're just trying to bring back that. They're just trying to start that trend, or they're just not trying to let it fully die out. Because let's be honest, there's not a lot of negative articles about Stadia like it was anymore. A lot of the articles are either fair. A lot of the articles are fair, or they're more on a positive side than negative now. At least from what I've seen.
Exactly.
I haven't seen a whole lot.
I agree with you.
Like I've seen every article. I haven't seen a whole lot, but there's a lot of a lot of fair to positive articles that are spreading around. And people are trying to like, go ahead, don't forget about this. So to me, it's not a big deal. Like, people can say whatever the hell they want. You feel me? But at the end of the day, moves that Stadia makes are calculated, and I believe that they Stadia. The people at Stadia know what they're doing.
Exactly.
The fans can say whatever. The haters are going to be there. That just let us know. That Stadia is doing the job. You feel me?
Let them live.
They're doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Like, just people just love to hate. People love to hate, and honestly, it's more of a Google thing than it is a Stadia thing. Like this energy is brought to the whole company around Google more than it is just Stadia by itself.
Yeah.
So that whole Twitter account about the things that Google supposedly killed, all the services that Google supposedly killed over the years, things like that exist, to try to tear down Google's name, so it's Apple enthusiasts try to tear down Google. It's just a whole lot of stuff, that goes against Google. It's hard for Google to do anything that is widely accepted. They're trying. Like, I remember the conversation that we had with Google Messenger and the Google podcast. They're like, how they're trying to, like, I think we had this conversation. I'm not totally sure. I think it was like in a members only section of the show. But Google is, Apple owns 70% of the US. Like Apple, like 75% of the people in the United States has at least one Apple product in their household. And Google is trying to change that narrative, but it's really hard. You feel me? It's really hard for Google to change that narrative. It's the same thing with gaming. Google was trying to change the narrative with gaming by bringing in their cloud gaming service. It's going to be hard for them to be fully accepted. So it's just part of that process.
Yep. Yeah. It reminds me of Microsoft when they first got in, and a lot of people blink and they go, what? Because they're not old enough to remember. I was when you were still swimming, not you, but when a lot of these FUD, the FUD brigade, when a lot of them were still swimming around, you know what I mean? I was in college writing papers on Microsoft and actually saying, hey, look, Microsoft is going to become a household name. No, it's not. They're a monopoly, this and that. We're going to crush them. And look what's happened. So, but yeah, when you don't research precedent, when you just have an argument and you don't kick the tires on it, and you're just caveating information to support that argument, you're going to miss a lot of this stuff. But I think you hit key on some important points. I very much like what you said, Smock. You said people are making to look Stadia worse than what it is. And that's true. Another thing that's true is that Stadia is growing at its own pace. And that pace may not be at the pace that people want that were originally here. And a lot of that is due now to because they kind of had to take a step back and reconfigure some things because the first year, their original plan didn't work out. You know what I mean? But they didn't give up. And that's a great thing. I mean, I don't know what people wanted them to do to keep going with a failing notion and not work out. You know what I'm saying? They had to do something different. And what they actually did is they looked at the platforms that a lot of these people are saying are better. A lot of people are saying that GFN and they feel that xCloud is doing better. They're looking at what they're doing and they're saying, how are these guys? They're not getting all the games, but how are these guys getting these games? And they're getting them without them having to put in what we put in. Oh, the reporting is easy. Yeah, we got to do what these guys are doing. You know what I mean? People are upset about that. But then the next thing that I like that you said most of all was that people are too fixated on this killed by Google thing. That's where I think it goes from disappointment, which I can understand, where people are like, oh, I don't think this is going to work out because you're not bringing the games, you're not bringing the heat. Even I don't agree with that, I can totally understand and sympathize with those arguments. But the whole thing where it turns into, this thing is going to die or they're giving up, where you're taking it to that extreme, is based upon the foundation set by Killed by Google. And I've had interactions with the guy from Killed by Google, whoever's running it. And they've admitted to me after I papped them on the internet, we don't know what we're talking about. We don't do research. We just got a notion and we think it's cool to fly by this notion. And then they blocked me. You know what I mean? So you guys are resting your laurels and your belief systems on conjecture based off of somebody that don't even fully vet the information themselves, admittedly. So I think what this does is, again, nobody said that Stadia was perfect or the move to Mexico fixes all of its errors. Hell, Microsoft is already in Mexico, I believe, and Japan. And Stadia got to get there as well. What we're saying is that, let's not move the goalposts. What we're saying is that this shows that they are still committed to the platform at a fundamental level. And things may not be moving as fast as you want them to, but they are definitely moving, and they're definitely building the retail product as well as the wholesale effort. You know what I mean? So It is what it is. You know what I mean? And real quick before I turn it back over to you, Smart, even if you don't like, let me give you an example. What's a popular food that I hate? I can't think right now. I don't know, but let's just say I hated spaghetti, right? Which I don't. Right.
But that's my favorite food. But.
That's your favorite food. It's a lot of people's favorite food, and I love like fettuccine, Alfredo and stuff like that. But let's just say if I hated spaghetti altogether, I just thought the whole concept of spaghetti was stupid, right?
Okay.
And say part of the reason why, because there's a lot of people that are allergic to tomatoes. or the stuff that's in pasta or whatever, right? And say for me, when I eat it, it just tears up my insides. There are foods that I eat that do that. But so when somebody comes to me with a plate of spaghetti under that scenario, of course, I'm gonna be like, oh, phooey, get this the hell away from me. This is stupid to me. I don't like it. But equally, I should be able to look abroad and realize that even though this is bad for me and bad for other people like me, I think it's called nightshade disease, where you can't eat tomatoes. You're allergic to tomatoes. If I can recognize that there were a bunch of people that suffer from nightshade disease like me without me trying to piss in everybody else's cornflakes, sorry for lack of a better term, and making it seem like that everybody is disgruntled with spaghetti or everybody hates the spaghetti. No, we got to change our dialogue or we're going to continue to look silly in this regards. And I think 3 pillars of understanding where to keep our dialogue at so it's fathomable is this. Does Stadia recognize what its problems are? Yes, they do. They've mentioned it multiple times in their keynote. Are they working to fix those problems? Yes, they've identified what they're doing to fix those problems in their keynote. They've said it there as well. However, in the third and most important piece, while doing so, while recognizing its problems and while working to fix them, are they still providing an enjoyable experience for its target demo? And the answer is yes, because it's the most talked about cloud platform on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? So, even if you don't feel that way, you may not be part of the target demo, or you might be an outlier. You know what I'm saying? But generally, people that play the Stadia platform who they're targeting enjoy it. You know what I mean? You may have some more super hardcore gamers that right now are like, I'm not liking this lack of 4K 60, or I'm not liking the lack of game. Yeah, but the core demo, the disenfranchised console gamer that's not super hung up on that stuff, or someone like myself who wants to be able to play his favorite games. Yes, at a certain performance I do, but play his favorite games and other games that I like. And I ain't got to play everything. I know what I like. People like me and people like others in their core demo, they enjoy it. And from a cloud perspective, that's a good number of people. So to Smock's point, and I'm going to shut up and turn it back over to Smock, it may not be for everybody. Everybody may not like it. But let's not make it seem like that everybody hates it or only a few people on the aisle like it. That's absurd and that's ridiculous. After saying all that, I turn it back over to Smog.
I can't see in the chat says, is this about the 9 to 5 thing? Is this the thing that sparked this topic?
No, here's Dusty. Any one article or
I don't know what they said.
Any one notion. Yeah, I mean, any one article or any one notion doesn't prompt a response from me. Have they probably said something in the same tone? Yes, but we don't focus on singular efforts, unless it's somebody like a Tom Warren or a Paul Tassi, someone who has like extreme influence. Someone like a 9 to 5 in my regards, they can print whatever they want. They got to deal with what they print, but they can print whatever they want. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about those that are misinforming people that are generally uneducated on the subject matter. 9 to 5, the people that follow 9 to 5 generally know what the platform is to a degree. They're just making a case in a lot of situations where I don't agree, but I'm not worried about them. So to be abundantly clear, Yeah, I don't, and I've had to tell content creators and other people this. I don't sit there and say, "Oh, Bobby Joe said that, so I'm not going to address that." That's not how I operate. If I feel like an argument or a notion is silly, then I address it regardless of who said it. So, yeah. So again, wherever they fit in, whether they sided with that notion or not, what I've seen is I've seen a multitude of different sources, a multitude of different individuals go on this thought process of every time something positive for Stadia happens, oh yeah, that's cool, but oh yeah, that's awesome, but like the butt is, and the butt becomes bigger than the thing that happened. So that's where the problem is, and it didn't originate with them, and it's not going to end with them. There's a lot of sources that do that, and my argument is that things like what we saw on Thursday, and other things that are going to happen this year likely, are going to make those type of arguments seem silly. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let me see here. What else we got here? They're talking about. I've seen Dusty also says I've seen a lot of expansion requests for Latam. Yeah, I did too. Yeah. I did too. So hopefully they expand. Well, we'll see what they'll expand to. Hopefully there's more. Shout out to Clive. You guys watch Monday Night Chat with Clive. Clive said, "Hey, look, man, I see everything leading to an expansion. Got to give people their flowers. And that's why he's my financial, not my spiritual advisor, all things Stadia. And that's why, I always recommend Clive because he pivots off the facts. You know what I mean? So I'm sorry, Smog. I didn't. I kind of took the mic from you again. Go ahead. Because the people want to hear from you. They're tired of hearing from me. They've been hearing from me. So, any other thoughts on this? On what's going on with Stadia, Mexico, or just Stadia in general?
Mexico is only the beginning.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say. That's like my hunch is usually kind of correct. And I see Stadia expanding into at least 2 other countries. That's my prediction.
Yeah,
I don't. That's pretty much it.
I don't argue against that.
And the one thing that I want to say, is that I'm not really negative about Stadia. I just I just hope that Stadia sees their own potential. You feel me? Because like them taking a step back is good, but sometimes it's also a good thing to step forward. And to like go hard with their promotions. Like they was doing before. Because they are quiet when it's time for them to step up. And show us what they got. I hope they go hard at their promotions like they've done in the past. I hope they're recognized, because I hope that people at Stadia, if they're listening, I don't know if anybody out on Stadia can watch this podcast.
Yes, come on over. You
guys,
we have some tea.
You guys have the potential to make a lot of noise. You guys, the Stadia can make a lot of noise. And I hope that they understand that as well, because while Stadia is, I believe, like you said, they're the most talked about cloud platform, and I still think that they're the leading cloud platform. Other companies are trying to catch up. And I don't want to see Stadia fall. I don't want to see Stadia fall behind anybody. While GeForce 3080 tier is expensive, I would love to see Stadia also get 120 hertz. I would love to see. I would love to see those things. I
Yep.
just hope that Stadia markets when it's time. I hope that they market their stuff correctly. That's all I want to see. I want to see Stadia win. Because
Yeah.
they deserve it. Stadia has gone through a lot, man. You
Yeah.
know, and this isn't coming. This isn't just me being like a hardcore Google Stadia fan. It's like Stadia's been through some rough stuff, and them Stadia turning the wheels. They need to keep the wheels turning and need to recognize the potential that they have and don't let all this stuff get to them and make them, want them to be quiet like this all the time. While it's cool for them to be quiet and get the stuff done, I also want to see them make noise as well, because I miss that. I miss
You know what I
making
think?
noise.
You know what I think is part of that problem, Smock? I totally agree with the focal point of everything you just said. You know what I think is part of the problem is they are worried about the negative noise. Now, I get it to a certain degree, but I think that worry has hamstrung them a lot. And I think the reason why it hamstrung them is because they in the past maybe got feedback from the community, and maybe the feedback that they got from the community was not part of their target demo. Like there were a lot of people that were interested in this platform that necessarily weren't part of the target demo. I mean, Stadia announced, we're curating our content. We're not going to be the wild, wild west of games and other things. And you had a lot of people that just wanted a cheaper way to have a PlayStation or an Xbox, and that's not what Stadia was about. So you had a lot of those people from the community shouting certain things that didn't help out. And I think what Stadia has to do is make a cold, hard decision and say, look, this is who we're talking to, and talk to those people. And that works because we've seen Xbox do it. Like Xbox over the years have faded away from dude bro gamers like myself. That's what they used to call it, because all we wanted to do was play Gears and shoot people. So dude bro gamers like myself, they faded away from that, and they've encompassed a lot more other gamers and been more on the social scene and all the other stuff, where an old school gamer like myself may look at that and turn my nose at it. Finally, in its 20-year history, Microsoft is finally out of the red because of it. They're seeing more financial success than they ever have because of their new approach. So it may not be for me, but that's okay. For the betterment of the product, they went through this evolution, or whatever you want to call it, and now they're doing better because of it. And it's just something I had to deal with and move on. I think it's time for Stadia to draw its line in the sand, and maybe they're planning to do that, and just speak to the people who they're for. So I think Stadia, what they should do, because there are some people that are not part of the demo that are lingering, who are looking for things like, are they going to fulfill 100 games exactly? Which I think they will. But get away from those litmuses. I think what Stadia should start doing is just simply start showing games that are in the pipeline, for 2023, right? 2022, 2023. Start showing what games are coming. The ones that they have solid dates on, like once they go gold, like they should have a status of like going gold or whatever when they release stuff, and if they're unsure about something, just say coming soon or coming very soon, or whatever moniker they want to use. I think Stadia is better in just showing us the games that are coming. You know what I mean? If they got a bunch of big ticket games that are coming, you could slap a showcase around that and get out of these conversational pieces that are really not good for your demographic. Let's stop chasing numbers. Let's start seeing what's coming down the pike of what you're negotiating for. You know what I mean? So I think that's why they're doing what they're doing, is because there's just too many negative forces in the foray that might cause a lot of problems for them, within the greater cloud community. But they gotta just do what Microsoft did. Microsoft just took the lumps, stuck to their messaging, stuck to who they were talking to, and moved on. And they're better because of it, whether I like them or not. You know what I mean? So,
right.
All right, great stuff, man. Great stuff. I do want to show one more thing, Smock. I want to get your opinion on this. All right, and you know how we do. Let me show you something. All right, so here, let me close this out. Get that the hell out of my way. This is an article from PC World. Shout out to I was about to say Daryl Smock Jr. Shout out to Daryl Smock Jr. as always, but shout out to Clive Linden for bringing this to our attention. This is reviews. This is a review from PC World. It came out today at 3:30 a.m. Smock's time. It says Google Stadia review, the console experience without the console, right? Now, they give Stadia its Editor's Choice Award. And let me remind you, PC World, along with PC Gamer, have not been always the most courteous to Stadia. PC World, less so than PC Gamer, has been critical of Stadia, but they've been very critical of Stadia and kind of like, whatever to the platform. But they're looking at it now, 6 months, the 6-month review, and it's won the Editor's Choice Award. And they've given it pros and cons, Smock. They said the pros are ease of access to the whole platform, 4K display support that genuinely works, some fairly deep game discounts for Stadia Pro members. And the cons are the free games with Stadia Pro have been somewhat lackluster. The game library is a bit behind the mainstream. And they say our verdict is Google Stadia offers a wide array of titles to choose from, and it's easy to use. Interfaces makes for an enjoyable cloud gaming experience. Overall, this is one of the best cloud gaming platforms available, especially if you opt for the Pro subscription. Smock, what are your thoughts on that review?
I'd have to agree.
Yeah,
I'd have to agree.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, they're sticking their facts, and everything that they said is correct.
Yes, I agree.
I agree with the library. It is like we don't have the best library, but
exactly. Yep.
This year has been a slow year, so I see where they're coming from.
Yep.
It is ease of access to the whole platform because once you're in there, you're in there. Especially if you're on a computer.
Yep.
So the phone can be a little bit weird because the initial thing where they ask for your credit card kind of throws people off. But once you're beyond that, the experience is pretty much easy. And Stadia is enjoyable, and it is. I would say it's the best, but it is one of the best platforms. The cloud platform. So it's totally like I said, totally fair, and it's positive.
Yep. I mean, I think they come right down the middle. They're not glaring. These aren't glaring Stadia fanboys. These are PC people, so they're more inclined to probably go with GFN. Maybe Stadia's in their top 3. Maybe they think Xbox or Shadow is better as well. I don't know, but I think this is fair. I mean, and again, first
sentence.
Which one?
That first sentence. In
right
recent
here?
years, the cloud gaming market has gained a number of new names, and none have been more hyped than Google Stadia. You just called Google Stadia the most hyped cloud platform.
Yes.
The new platform.
Yep.
It's true.
Yep.
It's true. So we're not the only ones saying it. People are saying it. People know that Stadia has the potential, to make noise when they do something. They can make noise.
Yes. Here's something else that is even more poignant that I missed this. It says it launched in late 2019 and it ran into a few stumbling blocks along the way, but its pivot to focusing on third-party games hosting has seen it flourish. I'm sorry. So again, this is PC World, who I think here's what's going on. And you said something very important, Smock, earlier. Very important. I hope people didn't miss it. You said that the mainstream media, for the most part, stopped all this anti-Stadia brigade once they finally understood what was going on. You know what I mean? And I think what helped them do that was that Stadia keynote, the last one. They realized, they said, oh, they're not trying to compete with Xbox or PlayStation. Oh, and even Eurogamer said, oh, well, this whole thing about Stadia's inevitable demise or whatever like that, it was supposed. I still got that clip somewhere. Like even Eurogamer was like sent a shot subliminally to the Business Insider article. Then you had GameIndustry.biz who gave up on their Stadia hate as well after the first keynote. So I think when you step aside and look at the mainstream media for the most part, except for a few exceptions like Rana Media and some outliers out there in the weeds, most of the mainstream media, they don't have a dog in this race now. So they're like, okay, now we recognize it for what it is. We don't have these granular expectations for it. It's trying to grow like the other platforms. Let's let it grow, and let's now rate it amongst its peers. Now you're starting to see them rated fairly amongst its peers. And when you do that, you get comments like this. It ran into a few stumbling blocks, but its pivot to focusing on third-party game hosting has seen it flourish. Come on now. That's not MM2K. That's not Dorsmark Jr. That's PC World. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. A lot of people were upset because they wanted Stadia out the box to be PlayStation in the cloud. That's as Clive said in his show, get to reality. Get over it. That's not what's going to happen here. And it's not happening with any of these platforms too soon. They're gradually making their incremental steps. They're going to do better. Some are going to rearrange some things and fix some things. But it is what it is. What are your thoughts on that, Smock?
Yeah, I mean, it's true, like the state of shifting its focus is a hard shift, but hey, it pivoted, and they're getting a lot of games. A lot of devs are happy with working with Stadia. A lot of devs are happy. We just once the naysayers realize this, Stadia will flourish even more. If they can somehow make everybody happy, they'll flourish even more.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for some people. I think some people just haven't realized that maybe right now, and Jack Buser even said this before the pivot. There's just gonna be some people that are gonna look at this and they're gonna have to come back years later and say, oh, okay, now this is for me. And some people don't want to let go of that for various reasons. I wanted to point to this too. It says Google Stadia Game Library. I thought this was a good piece right here. It says, in essence, you can imagine Google Stadia as its own console or popular PC game store. It has a fairly wide selection of games you can buy and play on the service, and those games aren't playable on any other service. It's much like how purchasing a game for PlayStation 5 doesn't allow you to play it through the Epic Game Store and Nintendo Switch. Now, I thought that part was important because one of the main arguments that you hear is that, oh, Stadia sucks because I can't play it on my Steam. I can't play their library on Steam. And so they point out this is a platform that just happens to be in the cloud. So you're not mad because your PlayStation 5 SKU can't be played on Epic Game Store on the Switch, are you? Right? You've invested into that platform. So the same occurs here. What do you think about that?
I'm reading it again.
Oh, no. It was. Go ahead. They were talking about the. They were talking about the fact that you can buy the fact that you buying your Stadia games and they're only playable on Stadia isn't necessarily a bad thing, because when you buy your PlayStation 5 games, you can't play them in the Epic Game Store. You know what I mean? So
I feel like the person that wrote this
Mm-hmm.
probably plays Stadia. Probably is a regular player on Stadia. Like he
Yep.
doesn't
And they're
sound
level
like
headed. Yeah.
yeah, he doesn't sound like somebody that just found out about Stadia. It seems like this guy
Mm-hmm.
I probably bought a couple games on Stadia,
Yep.
and probably plays it regularly,
Yep.
So just shout out, shout out to this guy. He knows really the way his wording, it's really
Mm-hmm.
good. I like it. I like it. This
Yep.
this is a good article.
Now again, it ain't all peaches and roses, but I think it's hard to argue against this particular point. They talk about the Google Stadia, the interface. He says first thing we need to call out is that Google makes it fairly difficult to find and understand what Stadia actually has to offer in its own website and media. If it took an uncomfortable amount of time to even see the Stadia service can be played for free, as almost all of its promotional material and site information tries to push users to Stadia Pro. What do you think about that argument, Smart?
It's a hard comment, but it's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's not lying. He's not lying at all.
He's not
Like
lying.
everybody that I try to get to play Stadia at work,
Yeah.
have to download it on their phone, and I have to tell them
Yes.
it's going to ask you for your card, but it's
Yeah.
not going to charge you.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to do that. I feel like I see what Stadia is doing though. They give them a month free, and if they like it, they keep it. If they don't, they can move their card. But I feel like Stadia shouldn't ask for your card up front.
Yep.
It shouldn't be the first thing. It's like one of the first things that you do, like before you even make a username, or either before you make your name or right after. That is one of the biggest things that can give people the wrong impression about what they have to offer.
Here's what Stadia should do. I think Stadia, when you know how I haven't signed up on an account for a while, so you know how it used to be, the 7 steps or whatever, right? And they were fairly quick. And step 7 was where you put your credit card information in. I think step number 1 should be, step number 1 should be not multiple choice, but should be a radial button. Do you want to sign up via Stadia Pro, get a month free, you know what I'm saying, of Stadia and play right now, or just sign up for Stadia free or whatever you call it. Just sign up to be able to purchase games without the subscription, without the Stadia Pro. That's what you should select that from the get-go. Let them select that as stage 1 and then do the rest. And here's what you do. For people that sign up for Stadia Pro after the fact, send them an email after the fact. Be like, hey, how are you liking Stadia Pro? How are you liking Stadia? Why don't you sign up? If you sign up for Pro right now, we'll give you an extra $10. You know what I'm saying? We'll give you Pro free for a month, and we'll give you an extra $10 to spend in the Stadia store. How about that? I think that's what they should do. Let people.
That sounds like a good incentive.
Yeah, let people decide at the beginning. Do you want to? You sign up for Stadia Pro and just give a quick description of what it is and click here for more, or I just want to sign up for for basic Stadia service. Okay, without Pro. Do that. And then just hit them up with an email later and say, how are you liking Stadia Pro? Answer our questions and sign up for Stadia Pro, and we'll get you a free month and we'll get you a $10 gift certificate, because they're giving out the $10 gift certificates anyway. But what they're trying to do is get people signed up for Pro. They're absolutely right. And they're just, with the way they're doing it is they're funneling people there. But I think if you're a little bit more, if you're less off-putting in the beginning, that may have a better effect on people in the long term, and they might sign up for Stadia Pro. They might like say, oh, okay, I like playing these demos, but yeah, I would like to have access to more games. Sure, I'll sign up for Stadia Pro. And if you're giving me $10 to spend, okay, cool. You know what I mean? So,
me personally, and this is me just who I am. I am more likely to sign up for a service that doesn't try to funnel me in buying something. You know, I'm more likely to subscribe to something that just has the option there but doesn't put it in your face.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah. And they may think, and I think Stadia is looking at like, well, we have a successful sign up ratio of Stadia, but I deal with data all the time. I tell them all that this is junk data. I think Smock is on to something. That's why he hosts the show. Smock is on. If you don't try to force funnel people into that option and just be transparent from the beginning, that emotionally sends them a signal. Oh, these guys ain't trying to give me the rope-a-dope. They're giving me an option. And what you do is just hit them with an email later, baby. Just hit them with an email later. So, how you liking Stadia? Sign up for Stadia and sign up for Pro, and you'll get da-da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? So. Also, what else they got down here? The last point that they made was they said Google Stadia can provide the bottom line. It can provide the console gaming experience without needing to get any expensive hardware, and can look even better with this Pro subscription. You still have to buy most of your games, but if you're coming at it as your primary gaming service, that's not a bad way to go about it. You know what I mean? So, cool. So if you're a cloud gamer, they're basically saying if you're a cloud gamer and this is your, if you just want to come at it with Stadia free, okay, this makes sense. If this is like a secondary way for you to play, go ahead, get the Pro subscription or do it however you want to. Like our homie Doc Dark, he's an Xbox guy from the get. But when he has games that he wants to play on the go, he doesn't mind buying them on Stadia because Stadia performs better for him when he's on the go, and he's on the go often, right? So, Yep, cool.
Yeah, this article is how everybody should review a product.
Yes. Yeah. Because their own personal bias is out of it. When you make your own personal bias the centrifuge for all of your content, when you're supposed to be a non-biased entity, it taints your credibility especially when things when things that you've said emotionally don't happen. You know what I mean? Right. Like I can say things like, I'm happy with Stadia. And because I'm happy with Stadia, let's just say if it emotionally makes me say, yeah, Stadia, they're going to have like 50 AAAs by the end of the year. That may be what I hope, because I like Stadia so much, but the facts don't show me that they're getting 50 AAAs. I got to go by the facts. So it works in the reverse. If I'm disgruntled by Stadia, I got to understand where I'm coming from, what type of gamer I am. Got to understand that every gamer is not like me. Its core demographic may not necessarily fit my taste. And I don't say things like, yeah, because Stadia is running at a slower pace, it's winding down. No, the facts don't show that either. Just as the facts wouldn't have showed that there's 40 or 50 AAAs coming. So this is someone that didn't interject too much with their opinion. I think what they did is they looked at it from multiple perspectives and they told you pros and cons that makes sense. So, Geek to Sneak says, agreed. It's like a shock to the system, but I still gotten a few folks to give it a go. Some still play, some do not. Yeah. Yep. Like I got people that still play that hit me up. Did you get the new Outriders? and I didn't, but because of my kids. But that's all right.
Yeah, I want to get War Slayer, but I don't. I want to see. I want to see if it's worth the $60.
Yeah.
That's.
Well. The good thing, Smock, is it's 40.
I was looking at it. I was looking at it on Stadia, and it said 60.
Here's what that is: 60. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you didn't get it, because the 60, and that's kind of weird that they have it like that. Like, hope it's a weird situation. So maybe Stadia's store setup isn't configured for this, and hopefully they can fix this in the future. That 60 gives you. Yeah, if you go into the $60 purchase and look at what makes up that $60 purchase, you can buy the add-on for only 40.
This is one of the things that confuses the buyers.
Yep. Because had you just went out and bought it, you'd have paid $60 for no reason.
Yeah, because there's an option to buy it, even though I already own the game.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing with that Stadia has to. Maybe this is a rare instance that they never come across before, but they got to fix it in the store. Where I think if you buy a bundle of something, they don't separate the bundle. You know what I mean? They don't, or they don't, you know, instead of just saying, they don't recognize part of the bundle that you already own. Now, in some cases, the bundle is just a bundle. But if I don't need the game, I'm not buying the game. It should just say, you know, buy the add-on. You know, you don't need to buy the game all over again.
Yeah. This doesn't happen with Destiny.
Yeah.
They're able to separate all of Destiny's expansions separately, and then if like the expansion shows up, it's not going to try to sell you their main game or anything like that. Yeah. So I don't know why it's doing that, but hopefully they can fix it. And Geek to Sneak can tell you now. I've been seeing Geek to Sneak online. That's why I'm just waiting. Geek to Sneak said, and other people have said that it's an older version. It's not the current World Slayer version. Like it's like a pre-retail version that we've got. So the cross-play isn't working. And I saw where Pete was talking about there's a bug in the game that doesn't allow you to get certain gear that you're supposed to. So I'm waiting. I'll you know. Oh, man.
Yeah, bro.
This reminded me of launch day.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I don't think it's as bad, but it's not good either. You know what I'm saying? They said this wouldn't happen anymore, and it's still happening. Yep.
They literally said it on Twitter. They said once we bring the Stadia games up to date with the rest of the systems, then that should be it. They should all be getting updates at the same time.
Let me tell you, and Geek to Sneak, he can chime in. Geek, definitely, this is your subject matter. You're a subject matter expert, or at work we would call you a SME. That's for a subject matter expert. It's Square Enix, bro. Square Enix has yet to pay people. People can't fly. They ain't liable to do anything. And look, Square Enix went on a world tour with Stadia. Remember they showed us them pictures. I remember when me and Storm was talking about them. Like, oh my God, this is going to make Stadia shine, right? They sent them pictures. Went on a world tour with Stadia. And gave us that shabby crap on launch day, and lied. And like you said, like you just pointed out, lied and said this wouldn't happen again. You can't trust Square Enix if it's not a side-scrolling RPG. You can't trust anything from Square Enix on Stadia. You just can't, because that's just how they operate. You know what I mean? If anybody needs to load change porting, it's them. Because if anything requires any serious manual, intervention, you're liable to get anything from a Square Enix game. Hold on. Geek to Sneak says the DLC is $40. He says it's World Slayer, but the cross-play didn't work for me. He says, however, I was able to play with another Stadian. So you can still play multiplayer with other Stadia gamers, but the cross-play aspect, because again, it's gotta be up to date with the console ones and the PC ones, and because it's not up to date, you can't play with people on other platforms. So keep that in mind before you purchase.
Well, I've never really used cosplay anyway, but it
Okay.
would have been cool to have it there. It's just as long as the performance is there, the game isn't glitchy how it was, or
Yeah.
as soon as I hear like, oh, it's an early version, I'm thinking, oh, it's gonna have some hiccups,
Yeah.
in the performance.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, what I'm hoping for at the end of the day, what I want at the end of the day, and I think everybody wants at the end of the day, is we want it to be like GFN, where you got the base game, you run it, the software converts it over, and there's just some minor tweaks and some adjustments to make it run smooth, give it 60 frames per second, idealistically get it at 1440p in performance mode, 4K and whatever mode. And then when they can get that stable and get that to happen regularly, then I think we're going to start seeing them upgrade the tools and upgrade the servers to 4K to 8K 120. So Geeks also said there seems to be a lot of boots. Oh, booting you from the okay. All right. Yeah, that's not cool.
None of that is good news.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yep. So I mean that's the verdict.
I want to like this game way more than I do.
Yeah. I really do. Yeah.
Because this could have been the game where
it could have. Yeah.
When I'm bored with Destiny, I could just play. I can play Outriders.
Yes, you're absolutely right. This was supposed to be that game. Like this was like at the time that this game came out, Division 2 wasn't really at any heights. So this was going to be my Division 2 replacement. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like how it was going to be a replacement. Yep. Missed opportunity. Definitely. Square Enix, man. Square Enix. And it's a shame because people can fly. I don't think they've had too many successful ventures like they had Bulletstorm, which made some ripples here and there, but I don't think did too much. Then they worked on one of the gears. The gears that they worked on, I don't think was one of the most highly regarded ones either. And so this was going to be their breakout party, and things just didn't work out. Geek also says the first night I was booted 4 times, last night twice. Dev, who I was playing with, got booted too. That's crazy.
How you a dev and get booted from your own game? I'm just playing.
I hope that's not what you meant. Are you talking about Dev the gamer, the content creator geek, or you talking about an actual Dev? Oh man! Oh no! Don't tell. He can't get back in his own game. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, man. That's just I love the game. I love Outriders. I love the game. It performs a lot better, looks a lot better. I mean, my kids bought me the gift card for that purpose. I'll still risk it. It's their money. It's not mine. I'll still risk it and get it. But yeah, man. Yeah, you got to be Square Enix. No, Dev the gamer. Oh, okay. We're about to say, we don't want to spread no propaganda. I thought you was talking about. We both thought you was talking about a Dev. The game.
That's funny.
Oh, that is funny. All right, cool stuff, man. Yeah, it's just with Stadia, it's not for everybody. Nobody's arguing that it's perfect. But give them their flowers, and we could give them their flowers without saying, these flowers grew in Manor, and Manor stinks. Like, we don't do it with every other platform. And understand that just because you may feel better acclimated to another platform, that's you. That's not everybody else. So again, if you want to talk about this platform at a broad level, if you're talking about this platform at a broad level, I think it would be wise to do it from a sensible angle, like how we see here with PC World. PC World have never fanboyed for Stadia. They've never done it. They've been critical. They're critical here. But I think overall, as Doyle Smock pointed to, they're not. It doesn't look like that they're trying harder to be harsher on Stadia. They're just coming down the middle. They recognize who this platform is for, and they're giving their assessment based upon the gamers in totality of who it's for. All right.
It's positive. It's a positive article.
You know? I think you can have a positive article with negative connotations in it. You know what I mean? And no, the Stadia aisle, we're not angry. We're not, biting each other and throwing each other in the volcanoes. No, I think all these criticisms are more than fair. You know what I mean? Even the criticisms that don't bother me per se, I think they're more than fair to make. So, all right. With that being said, let's move on. Let's talk about, so now we got past the whole Stadia part. Let's talk about just cloud gaming in general, Smock. Let's talk about Stadia and cloud gaming, on the Samsung Game Hub. All right. Let's go over here. Let's talk about it. The Samsung Game Hub. Let me see if I can get the website. This is from TheVerge.com. And they talk about the Samsung Game Hub. And they say this. Here, let me show you something. They say Samsung's gaming TV hub launches with Xbox, Stadia, and GeForce Now streaming. Amazon Luna is coming soon too. By our good friend Tom Warren. Woo! Samsung is launching its game hub for its 2022 smart TVs and monitors. Today, the hub brings together the best gaming streaming apps into a single location with quick access to NVIDIA's GeForce Now, Google Stadia, Atomic, Twitch, and Microsoft's new Xbox TV app. Even Amazon Luna will be available soon, neatly integrated into the Samsung gaming hub UI. They go on to say the biggest addition, they feel, is the gaming hub, which is Microsoft's app. And this is why, and I think this is fair. Even from Tom, I think this is fair. While Stadia, GeForce Now, and Twitch are available across a variety of TVs, the Xbox app is currently exclusive to the Samsung Hub and provides access to Xbox Cloud Gaming. So what they're saying is the reason why they feel that this is big is because you don't have an Xbox app that allows you to play on the TV anywhere else, or native Xbox app. The only way to get this is from Samsung TVs. Fortnite is available to stream free of charge, but you'll need an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription to play more than 100 games. Smock, my first question to you, my friend. Well, before I go there, there's another thing I want to show you, because even though a lot of us look at this and say, oh yeah, man, this is like cool across the board for all Stadia gamers, I do want to show you this. Hold on, let me do something here. Let me do something real quick. Because even though they're saying this, hold on. Even though we're saying this in the cloud gaming space, this is what Matt Piscatella has to say about it. Because Tom Warren put out a tweet that says Samsung's gaming hub for TVs and monitors launches today with xCloud Gaming, Stadia, and GeForce Now. Amazon Luna is coming too. Full details here. Matt Piscatella, that does the NPDs, the things that we cite here when we're doing the NPD compare, he says the initial user base will be tiny. 2022 Samsung sets only for those with great internet that can set up their routers appropriately, that can connect a gamepad that don't already have a console connected. But an early glimpse at what will likely grow into a big opportunity. So a lot of us feel that this is bigger than that. But what do you think about how big of a boost this could be for cloud gaming? And what do you think about Matt Piscatella's assessment?
Yeah, it's he has a correct assessment of it. It is going to be small because I don't see a lot of people running out to buy an entire TV, a
Yeah.
2022 TV from Samsung that's probably over $1,000.
Yeah.
You know, just for the Game Hub. I think this is a good move from Samsung. To get people to give people the option to play cloud gaming initially, as but this gonna be a big thing in the future. Depending on responses from the people that play it. When it launches,
Yep.
with the people that use the Game Hub when it launches. You know, um, but I don't see it. Don't see it making huge change for a huge like it's another option for gamers to play their games on. But I think you have the most hurdles you have to go through is the Xbox because I don't know if I mean I don't know. The biggest hurdle for me I think would be Xbox because you can't just play the Game Pass. You have to be a subscriber. Whereas Stadia you can just play free. Stadia is the most easily accessible one here. Even though Xbox has the biggest name.
Yeah. Um, Another question is, who do you think will benefit from this the most? And so we're going to ask all those at the same time. After looking, because originally I saw this and I'm like, this is Matt Piscatella. I mean, I do agree with him that it's going to be small at first, even though it's estimated that, and when you look at numbers, it's estimated that this could be available on anywhere between 20 to 40 million TVs worldwide. But again, that's worldwide, and we don't know how many of those TVs, Stadia, GFN, or Xbox, are going to be available in, because they're available in those regions. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have to see. So we don't know how many TVs will be affected by what services. So I do believe it's going to be small. Not as big as we think it may be, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be small for the reason that he gives, where he's like, the internet, you got to have good, and you don't have to have, well, at least for Stadia, and maybe not so for GFN that much, but I know for Stadia, you don't need excellent internet. The controller setup, at least for Stadia, isn't horrendous, so it's not rocket science. I do think he has a point though. If you're buying a 2022 Samsung TV to play video, I think you're right. Nobody's going and saying, "Ooh, I can cloud game on the Samsung TV. Let me go buy a new the number of people that are doing this are very small.
It's a very niche group of people.
Exactly. I would even say that's less than 1%. I think what most people are doing is if they're buying this TV, they already have a console. Yeah. I think what's going to happen though is that, and in all likelihood, they already have an Xbox console, right? I think what's going to happen though, at least in the first year, is I think this is going to benefit GeForce Now and maybe even Stadia more so than Xbox, because
yeah, of course.
I originally thought it was going to be Xbox. I'm like, oh, this is going to be huge. People are going to be playing Fortnite on this. But in all likelihood, to Matt's point, those people that are buying these TVs are already going to have Xboxes. You know what I mean? And they're already playing Fortnite. But what this could do is somebody could say, you know what? Let me see what this Stadia thing is about, or let me see what this GeForce Now thing is about. And both of those services have free trials. Like GeForce Now, you can play Apex Legends up to an hour for free. You can play the Stadia free trials, up to an hour or half an hour, 2 hours free, depending upon the game, right? And there's over 75 of them now. So I think in for the most part, you're not going to see people buying these expensive TVs to cloud game. I think what you're going to see is people are going to buy these expensive TVs that already have consoles, but they're going to go try out the systems that they may not be too familiar with. And if they and that's probably why Stadia made sure that they pushed out 75 free demos when this thing released. So interesting stuff. Interesting. I think everybody's going to benefit from it. But when you look at who's going to benefit from the most, I would say GFN and Stadia, because it's going to introduce more people to those platforms who probably already had, who's going to test it out and who's going to say, you know what, let me try this out and see how well this works. And they're going to try it out and they're going to be like, oh, snap, this ain't too bad. You can play some Apex Legends on it, or play, they can play a PC free-to-play game via GFN, or again, try the 75. They can play I don't know if Five Nights at Freddy's has a free trial. If not, they better get a free trial of that out there soon. But they can play Five Nights at Freddy's for maybe up to an hour. They can play Outriders, the new expansion. If they want to test the waters, that's the World Slayer expansion is a free trial on Stadia, which I didn't even realize that until last night.
Yeah.
So
what's his Pete told me.
Pete. Yep. So interesting stuff. Any final thoughts on any of this, Smock?
Yeah, my last thoughts actually is I think this can open up doors for other companies to try to copy what they're doing.
Yep.
And make their own game hub.
Yeah.
TVs.
Yep.
Also see that being a thing.
I agree. I totally agree. All right. All right, so we got past that. Final part, which we rarely get to, but I think we can pull off in enough time, is we like to call this game vibes, right? And this is where we just basically run down games on Stadia. We talk about the ones that we're most excited for, that we're playing now, ones that we're most disappointed with, and the biggest anticipated game to the platform. So I'm gonna start with you, Smock, for your three. What is, or even if you have more than three, what game are you the happiest with on Stadia at the moment? And if it's the same from the last time you were asked, that's okay.
Yeah, it's like my right now my list isn't changing a whole lot. I've only been playing a couple games. The games that I'm happy with right now is Destiny 2.
Destiny, okay.
Because story is so good, man. It's so good. Like they're every week. So the thing that I like that Destiny is doing, that Bungie is doing, is they're not just giving you everything all at once, so you can finish it. They're actually giving you a weekly progressions of the story every single week.
Gotcha.
For the whole season.
So they're staggering it out. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And they're doing the way that they're doing it. I like how they're doing it, And like recently there's some big stuff happened with the story where one of the characters who we thought was our enemy is actually a friend, and the reason why she joined us was because she didn't agree with what her father did to her. Her father is kind of crazy, and he killed her dog. And to some people that may not be a big deal, but to this specific group of people, the dog is basically the closest thing you have to a friend other than your parents. You feel me? So the dog, her pet, is extremely important. So that was like the last straw. So she had to get away, and her father actually died. But the thing is that now he's haunting her, and she's trying to deal with that mental trauma and the things of the stuff that happened. She's trying to overcome it. So it's just it's really humanizing a lot of characters that aren't really supposed to be humanized, and it's really
Ah,
good.
yeah.
And a lot of people can relate to it. And man, just Bungie as a company, man, is just um they like the way that they speak out and the way that they support so many different groups of people every week, and the way that they're open about their support of the groups of people, is just it's honestly so many companies can learn from what Bungie's doing.
Cool,
So yeah,
cool,
that's
cool.
definitely the game that I'm happy with. Game that I am disappointed with is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, man.
Oh,
Because they still haven't updated DLC that we're paying for on Stadia. I'm still stuck at that same spot. It's been like that for
what?
like 3 months. It's been like that for like 3 months, man. It's
That's
insane.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. I haven't wrote an article about it yet, but I might actually have to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, we might have to shed some light. So just help us understand. So is this just a Stadia problem, or is it a
I
problem?
believe it's just a Stadia problem. I believe they fixed it everywhere else. I've seen multiple people beat the game.
Mm,
I see people on PS4 that's live streams, that's able to beat it. So it's definitely just a Stadia problem. You know.
yeah,
Uh check. I haven't touched the game. I haven't touched the game in like 2 weeks.
wow.
But I'll check again tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'll check again right after, and if it's still not fixed, then we gonna have to make the article happen. I don't like it. I don't want to
Yeah.
do it because I really like Ubisoft as a company. I
Mm-hmm.
really think that as a gaming company, they're similar to Stadia in
Mm-hmm.
terms of people hate on Ubisoft because
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
making decisions that a lot of the OG gamers don't agree with.
Yeah.
And they're trying to keep up,
Yep.
keep their stuff fresh, for new gamers.
Mm-hmm.
So I really sympathize for them because I really believe that they're a good company. But this is taking this is unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Acceptable.
Yeah. No, I agree. I totally agree. No, that's not. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully it's fixed. Smog City's going to check and see if it's fixed. If it's not, I mean, there's just some things that you don't like. I get
The thing is,
pricing.
the thing is, they're about to launch a new DLC, bro. About to
You
launch a
ain't
new
fixed the old one.
DLC.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
that's part two. That's part two of this DLC. So imagine being a Stadia gamer. Imagine being in my shoes. Like
Mm-hmm.
the only thing you want to do at this point is complete the story. So
Mm-hmm.
about time the next DLC job, which is in a couple weeks, I think, or a month.
Mm-hmm.
About time that DLC drops, you want to be able to play part two. Imagine that thing drops and you still haven't completed the first one, like the
Mm-hmm.
first part of the DLC. You know,
Yeah.
that's like, bro, that's FOMO. That's FOMO right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
That's
man. I I I love Ubisoft too, but if they got to get called out, they got to get called out. They got called out. What was it? Black Flag, when Black Flag wasn't going to appear in Ubisoft Plus. They were trying to do that thing where they were gonna make you pay $9 for it or whatever, and maybe that was what they were trying to do because they made it 60 frames per second. And when I didn't turn out right, then all of a sudden it was added. Like I mean, I don't know, man. It's just certain things you don't do. Like I get where the bigger platforms may get enhancements and we don't. I get that. You know what I'm saying? DLC might come out first, but when you release something on a platform, it should be standard that you're going to address it, and you're going to address it thoroughly, regardless where you put it. You know,
reason why this is such a big deal. Sorry to cut you off, but
oh
the
no, go
reason
ahead.
why the reason why this is such a big deal is because it's literally game breaking. Like I
Yeah.
literally cannot progress the story unless this bug gets fixed.
Yeah.
Like I literally can't play the game. I
That's.
reached out to them on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Reached out to them. They responded to me in the DMs.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, oh yeah, this will be fixed in a future update. But where's that update at? Like
Yeah.
where is it? You know,
Yep.
it's like man, what are they gonna do? Like release like bro, their DLCs aren't short. They're long.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like they put time into it. So you're gonna tell me that this DLC is gonna be fixed in like 2 weeks before the thing drops, and it's like a 20-hour DLC that I gotta try to complete, like,
Yeah.
or do I have to start all the way over, and hopefully it won't happen this time. Like, hey, come on, man! I put a lot of time into this game. Like this DLC was the reason why I got back into Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
But like this DLC is super good. It's just this thing. I literally cannot progress further into the DLC if this thing doesn't get fixed.
Yeah. Yeah. We're running into situations like this, where you got to say, even if it's people that you support, like Ubisoft, we love the support that they're giving the platform. It's bar none. That said, when you release something, just you got to fulfill those type of things. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it again. Hopefully low change porting reduces these situations, but you got to support what you put. You know what I mean? Sorry,
I hope the last thing I'm gonna say about this. I hope it gets fixed. And if I have to write this article, I guarantee you it's gonna do numbers. I guarantee you it's going to do numbers. I know when I'm passionate about something, I'm passionate about this because I really like them and I really don't want to do this. But this is like, for me,
Yeah.
for me, this is like making a diss track to somebody that I'm really cool with.
All you gonna do is hit them up. You gonna hit them up? Oh man, no, I get you. Look, I'm the same way, Daryl. I'm the same way. I've written CEOs because of my business experience. I've written CEOs of companies. I've made their life. I've made life for their representatives a living hell, and I've learned that from. When it comes to issues, nice people finish last. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when you're nice about it and you're like, oh man, can you please fix that? It's very rare. Like you have the people at Wired P and the guy Eves that does 100-day wine simulator. Those are rarities, unfortunately. And the person that done the Falconer. Those people are rarities. Unfortunately, most of the time, you have to be a jackass. I've learned that from doing customer service at the business side. You got to be a jackass in order for people to pay you attention, because when you try to be nice, they just disregard you. They'll be like, well, he's not angry. And that's a shame that the state of affairs have gotten to that point. Well, they're not angry, so whatever. We're just going to ignore them. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Hey, I've had to do it. Let's just hope that Ubisoft does the right thing. If they haven't already, let's put that out there. Let's be fair. Yeah. If they haven't already, let's hope that they do the right thing upon prior notification. So Smock ain't got to drop no hit 'em up bars. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. So
yeah.
All right, so that's your most disappointing game, which we completely understand. But what game are you most anticipating that you can't wait to come to Stadia, or even one that you just hope comes to Stadia?
No, the one game is from Square Enix. The Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah.
16 or 17?
Yeah,
it's not 15. It has to be like 16 or something.
Yeah. You talking about the MMO one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sequel to Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
Didn't get 14.
Yeah.
I pray to God. I hope we could get that one.
You know
Final
what?
Fantasy 16.
I I would love to have that game there, Smock, but
Yeah.
again, Square Enix, man.
Yeah, I know.
It sucks.
I would listen, if we get that game, I would take the flaws. I would take the flaws for the first couple weeks.
I can dig it. What game did I feel like that? Mm-hmm.
That's one of the games where you could probably get lost in. You know, you could probably pass the flaws for a little bit until they fix it.
What game was like that for me? Outriders, to a degree. I was, even when it was like kind of a mess, I was like enjoying it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I can get it. I can dig it. Yeah, but hopefully what Square Enix gives us routinely becomes more frequent and becomes better in quality. But I would love to see that game as well. You know what I mean? Those are some good selections. What game am I most happiest with on Stadia? I'm gonna say Division 2. It's gonna be Division 2 right now. I still got to get back into World War Z. I was watching Helix Cloud Gaming. Shout out to those guys over there. They were doing a live stream, and I was like, damn, that looks good. I got to get back in that game. But Division 2 is taking my soul. Division 2 and Outriders is tugging at it too. So I got to get back into Division 2. But the game I'm most happiest with is still Division 2. It's just a hell of a game. The game that I'm most disappointed with on Stadia is not because everything's bad. Like we listened to Geek to Sneak. Geek broke it down for us. It doesn't sound like it's horrible, but the state isn't all the way around acceptable. I'm going to say Outriders.
Okay.
Why do I say Outriders when normally it would be Ghost Recon Breakpoint that fills the slot for me? I would say Outriders this time around because, again, what Daryl Smock pointed out too, they promised us that this stuff would end and they didn't do it. It didn't end. And you see a situation where there are discounts on other platforms for the game. And I get why there's not the same discount on Stadia. I get it. But you're asking us to pay more for less quality. That's basically what it is. And that's not cool. We could do a little bit better, Square Enix. Because this is going to be long-term stuff. You know, stuff like this bites you in the end. So let's just get the quality together. Let's figure out what's going on. Why, the crossplay isn't working. Let's get it together. You know what I mean? I'd hate to be part of a group that was like, oh man, this is great. Crossplay is working on Stadia, and I'm playing with my friends on other platforms and all the other stuff. And they're sitting there thinking, and Stadia got to be thinking about this too. They're sitting there thinking, holy crap, well, this Stadia thing ain't so bad. Now all of a sudden I can't play with them again. Why can't you play with us anymore? Well, on Stadia, we told you. So
Exactly.
Gotta get it together. What game are you anticipating the most to come to Stadia? I'm gonna say this. I have two choices. First is Resident Evil Village DLC. I think that DLC package is dope.
Forgot about that.
And I think that's gonna be the biggest package in gaming to date. This is gonna be. It's bigger than anything. I mean, I know. What was that? The DC game is coming out or whatever, and Hogwarts is coming out. Hogwarts might beat it by a hair, and I'm hoping we get that too. But I think this Resident Evil DLC is huge. It's probably the hugest thing that we know about right now as far as hardcore gamer stuff in 2022. My second one is Saints Row. I think the Saints Row is looking good. And if we can get a GTA-esque game on here,
I was just thinking that
with the expansion to Mexico, right? And if they have a free trial of that, a 2-hour free trial of that on Samsung TVs and LG TVs, don't forget GFN and Stadia's on LG TVs too, baby.
Yeah, I like LG TVs a lot.
Yeah, yep. Got my C1 hanging up right now. If you do that, that's huge. And to Dole Smock's point, if they're expanding to other areas too, that's huge. That's huge. Because when it comes to Mexico, Smock, the problem is, and I know it's like this in Trinidad because me and my brother started a temporary business where we were trying to sell games to Trinidad. That became a mess. But that's a whole nother podcast because they were so expensive. And we were like, well, we can undercut that. We'll take the temporary hit in revenue if everybody buys from us, right? Then we end up getting ourselves in trouble. But anyway, what people don't realize is that certain territories, it's not necessarily that people don't have the money to buy it. If they could get access to the games and the consoles at the prices that we have, they would be able to buy them. But they're so marked up, like particularly for Trinidad, because they got to go over the seas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're so marked up that the consoles, at the very least, become super expensive. So if you take away the need of buying a super expensive console, you can just buy the game at regular retail digitally. Well, not digitally. You're paying for it in the cloud. So all that extra taxation is out of the way. You got something huge going on there. So, I think having a GTA-esque game, a new one, in the realm of Saints Row, it's going to be big. It's going to be big so I hope the rumors are true. Everything that we're seeing is true. And I hope that game does come to Stadia 2022 because that's going to be a huge get for the platform. So
I have a good feeling it will.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's huge. I think they're keeping their mouths quiet because I think Stadia just feels like, and when they announce things too soon, Xbox out of nowhere comes and steals their thunder. I know when I was talking about Xbox in the whole Outriders deal, people were like, "Oh, I don't see that correlation." Well, some of you guys don't know who I know. I hate to sound like the cocky jackass saying that, but the thing like the Doom Eternal, all of a sudden now it's 1800p. When it was supposed to be 4K, and the Outriders thing where it's launching day and date and game that game specifically, those aren't coincidences. And those were huge games for Stadia. Those aren't coincidences. So I think Stadia's concerned about that, what the competition is going to do in regards to what they have planned, and they rather be quiet about it and not create this big buzz that gets everybody excited. Got to remember around Outriders, that was going to be if Outriders would have launched, even if it would have launched in the state that all the other platforms was in, that still would have been huge for Stadia because they went and did an interview about it with Square Enix. That was supposed to be huge for Stadia, but because it was so horrible on Stadia, they couldn't capitalize on that at all. I think all the buzz that they were creating in advance to that, the pictures Square Enix was putting out, all other stuff, I think what could have happened is Google felt like that bit them in the butt long term, because what did Xbox do? They sweep in with a deal. They haven't launched into Game Pass day and date, So I think that's why, in some regards, and I understand those regards, I think that's why you see Stadia not put everything out there.
They don't play their hand for everybody to see. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Because
that's just them being cautious. Okay.
Yeah. Outriders on many levels didn't go as planned. So, all right. Well, that's it for the show, Smock. Man, what a hell of a show. What a hell of a member show too. Great to be back, right? Yeah.
Going all day. Yeah. This is a good start.
So I think it's good to let me take this off. Hold on. I gotta stay on top of my graphics. So Mr. Smock, let the good people know where they can find you, man.
Find me right here on YouTube at Smock Junior Gaming. I'm gonna be going live. Hey, you could catch me on the PNTS network. Yep. I may or may not have an article coming out that may or may not be juicy. So, stay tuned for that.
Yeah. I can dig that.
And you can catch me on Twitter, N2LA. You can catch me on Instagram at Smock Jr. So I'm pretty much everywhere. I'm everywhere.
Cool.
So yeah, follow me.
Follow Smock, man. He be killing it on Destiny, man. And pretty soon, once we get schedules and stuff stabilized, the next wing of the old Dirty Blasters, which is our Destiny 2 clan, that's coming. We just got to get things stabilized. It took us a while to get the Division 2 clan together, and we still ain't done a raid yet. So, which reminds me, I got to talk to everybody today because they want to do a raid tomorrow. But with that said, yeah, man, we're on the rise, man. PNTS Network, StadiaDosage, check it all out. Check out the new mixtape from Daryl Smock called "Hit 'Em Up," digital style on. Oh man, that's gonna be crazy. If it has, what has to happen has to happen. With that said, I'm your boy MM2K of PNTS Network and Stadia Dosage. You can check me out here on Stadia Dosage. Check me out on my channel, MM2K. We're throwing some stuff out there here and there. We're priming it for a certain reason. We're priming it. You'll find out shortly. You can also catch me on Stadia Dosage Plus on Twitch and Stadia Dosage streams. All right. So with all that said, folks, peace. And have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day.